Hello and welcome to Drăculești. This is a horror romance visual novel and a reimagining of the novel Dracula. We are playing the main character Renfield, who I honestly only know from the movie Renfield with Nicolas Cage, which is obviously set in modern times, while this is set in 1931 Romania, like I assume the original novel. Haven't read it, but I know the general Dracula lore, and this just looked so interesting, like the art style I already love. Yeah, this is just a demo, but assumably we'll already meet the 4 love interests, including Dracula himself. And yeah, so even though this is just the demo, you already have the option to turn on chat voting if you're streaming this on Twitch. But today it's just me. I have to make all the choices by myself. No idea how that will turn out. But yeah, let's give it a go. Romania, 1931. Castle Dracula. I, Roger M. Renfield, have been sent by the Harker and Hawkins law firm to complete the sale of a number of English properties. To the castle's master. Prince Dracula. Wasn't he a count? Huh. Though Dracula has been hospitable, his domain is less so. Ghosts haunt the halls of this oversized tomb, alongside other unnameable creatures, man-made of smoke and ash. My host swears they're nothing but bad dreams. And yes, it's true, I have a history of waking nightmares. That I've lost good years in a sanitarium. But since when do nightmares leave handprints? No amount of charm and hard liquor can fully convince me the monsters aren't there. The more Dracula plies me with them, the less I trust him too. Who can I rely on in this terrible place? Our nightcap knocks me out until sunset the following day. I'm a total disgrace. And I feel like shit. Someone's come through and left documents on the desk. I am absurdly late for work. At least there'll be a distraction from everything that happened last night, my own conduct included. Alongside the documents is a breakfast tray. Scrambled eggs, bacon, grilled tomato, and hash browns. Most of it looks delicious. Can't say I want the bacon, but in these parts, best to eat it and avoid any undue attention. Beside the plate, a freshly cut rose is being used as a paperweight, keeping a delicate piece of stationery in place. I move the rose aside and look at the message. Master Renfield. I apologize for the disturbances last night. Do not feel guilty for being distressed by the condition of our home. It makes terrible noises that stoke worse ideas. If you'd like a tamer evening, there'll be tea in the parlor where we ate yesterday. I've invited the brides for a proper introduction. Theodora is eager to hear about her new home. Present yourself at the parlor between 7 and 8 if you've any interest. Otherwise, best of luck with your work. Prince Dracula. As I eat breakfast, I consider my next move. Whatever I do now will set the tone for our relationship from here out. Should I try to patch things over, or let the wound fester? Furthermore, there's that forbidden, haunted bathroom. My bathroom. Closest to the tower, anyway. Best to confront new fears as soon as possible. I can't spend this whole trip afraid of a sink. Yeah, that doesn't sound great, but especially a bathroom being haunted. Annoying to say the least. If I don't attend tea, I ought to confirm the ghost was nothing but a trick of the faulty lights, lest I develop a new phobia. Besides, I never did get to shave last night. What'll it be, Renfield? Heed your master's call, or brave your creepy toilet? Wow. Yeah, what a great first choice. Accept Dracula's invitation to tea, or prove the bathroom ghost doesn't exist. This will already set us on a path to one of the romances, maybe? Maybe I'll do a cheeky save for... Why does it jump here? Okay. Can I not choose this? Okay. That's a bit weird. But fine, a lot of save slots, always great. Appreciate that. I'm so curious about both Dracula and the ghost. You know what? I'm going to go with the bathroom ghost. Whichever it was that actually happened last night, whether or not he knows more than he lets on, I'm not comfortable with how Dracula pretended not to notice the marks on my neck. Best to keep some distance, finish the documents as quickly as possible, and leave before the situation gets worse. Then again, can we not check the bathroom and still go to tea? No idea how late it is. Staying functional means staying clean. Let's take a look at that sink. Toiletry bag in hand, I return downstairs for round 2. I'll clean the mirror and there will be nothing there. Then I'll shave. It will be fine. The bathroom is identical to the night before. The steam is dispersed, but the mirror is clouded with dust. Sure enough, when I wipe the largest section clean, there's nothing but me inside. My sorry, stubbly face. Time to fix that. I refill the sink, carefully retrieve the razor from the jumble, and set about shaving. I'm less precise than usual. Still terrified there'll suddenly be someone behind me. Or worse, a bodiless voice filling the room. The 3rd stroke wobbles. The 4th stroke, I slip harmlessly. The 5th stroke cuts straight into my jaw. I lose hold of the razor. It clangs on the floor near my shoe. Since the room's nominally out of order, there aren't any towels, and I forgot mine. What to do about the blood? There is a lot of it. I clamp my hand to the wound. It's shallow but prolific. It seeps between my fingers and drips on my collar. Got to wash it clean. Ducking toward the sink, I scoop both hands through the water to splash it on me. When I stand up straight again, the mirror is brighter. A faint glow emanates through the room. Before I can react, there are hands on my shoulders. My, what a nasty cut. I've had auditory hallucinations and visual hallucinations, but never anything tactile. Here, let me help. Releasing my right shoulder, they move their hand to my jaw. Then they lean over and, while I'm too stunned to react, press their mouth to the wound. It's almost a kiss. Finally, they withdraw. Their reflection clarifies in the mirror. A beautiful young man. When our eyes meet amidst the cracks, he lets himself breathe. Saliva to help it heal. I breathe too. Oh. He looks at the mirror and his face twinges. It's impossible to tell whether he's focused on my reflection or his own. Hard to know where to go next. Eventually, I find some composure and say, "Okay, who are you? Where did you come from? I didn't need your help." No, the third one is just rude. I don't think we want to go there. And is ghost saliva really helping with bleeding? No idea. But I guess that's not the point here. Sure, let's just go with, who are you? Another of the house's pitiful inhabitants. That's not much of an answer. It's all you'll get. I try to turn and face him directly, but he catches my shoulders again and keeps me looking at the mirror. We're not finished, are we? I interrupted you last night and again now. If I could please have the razor. Try mine. Before I can react, he slides his grip down my arm to take hold of my wrist and guides my hand to the mirror. Open your fingers. Do it or refuse? I'm just noticing these symbols. Do they have any meaning or it's just for decoration? I'm just going to go with it. I splay them out and expose my bloody palm. He pushes me forward, so I press it to the center of the cracks. Tiny, powdery bits of glass prickle against my skin. It's uncomfortable. Slowly, a red glow spreads out from the center, along each line, to the ends. This is almost like a summoning ritual. As if the glass is bleeding too. Then, like a cut healing at umpteen times the speed, the cracks close. The mirror is a single perfect pane. He lets go of my hand, and I lower it to grasp the edge of the sink. A tiny latch is now visible at the edge of the mirror. He clicks it open and swings the surface out, revealing an indented cabinet space behind. There are 3 items on the middle shelf. A strangely curved comb, a bulky off-white hairpin, and a folding razor with an oversized grip. Just having a safety razor against my face can be unnerving. Is he really going to use this instead? He takes it from the shelf. Yes, he is. As he unfolds it, he closes the cabinet. When we're done, don't forget to take those too. I'm not sure I need you to. Okay. I mean, I was already wondering if we're going to have a choice between the 3 items, but good to know that we can take everything. That's really all I want in a video game, where you can let me take all the items. As he brings the razor close and tilts it around my peripheral vision, I notice the grip has a serrated edge. 7 sharp points of varying size and shape. On a grip of dull ivory. He touches it to my skin, and I realize what it is. I say nothing. With total grace, he slides the blade over my cheek. Now I can't say anything. What would I say if I could speak? His practiced hands make short work of the task. This is a man who's done this for as many hours as any barber. When he's done, he folds the blade and presses it into my bloody palm. Don't forget the other pieces. But maybe next time we meet, we could play a game? Chess, or perhaps billiards. Wait. Yes, let's do billiards. I whip around. He's not there. It's like he was never there. The razor still in my hand. 7 sharp points along the razor grip. Whereas the grip of the comb, which has a similar curve, has 7 holes. Atop the bony body of the hairpin, 9 loose teeth have been strung together to look like flowers. Split into 3 discrete pieces. The lower half of someone's jaw rests in my hand. Oh, I see. I had no idea that that's where we were going. But okay, looks pretty enough. Also, that whole scene didn't go where I thought it might. Letting a ghost shave you with a razor like that. Oh well. The outcome is what we originally planned to, right? We're clean shaven now, so all's good. Oh boy. After that strange encounter, I desperately need normalcy. Retreating to my bedroom, I slam the next section of documents on the table and bury my hand in the driest details on offer. I calculate sales taxes. I cross-reference details about extension permits. I know depths of water lines. Anything to stop me thinking about the pieces of human jawbone I stuffed at the bottom of my suitcase. I absolutely will not think about it. I will think about condition reports instead. I drop my pen and open my suitcase. Digging through it, I find the pieces of jawbone. Someone has engraved the razor piece with a floral motif. The teeth have been plucked from the grip of the comb, looped into makeshift daisies to decorate the top of the hairpin. The more I look at it, the more disgusted I become. It's not right, desecrating someone's body parts like this. I've got to dismantle them. There aren't any scissors or pliers or pry tools in my bag, but I bet I can find some around the room. Okay, check the wardrobe, check the desk, or check the nightstand. Can I not check everything? Oh. I clicked twice. I'm sorry. Okay, but do we really want to pick apart that thing? I want to check the nightstand. The nightstand is already full with all the useful items you'd expect. Matches, candles, a torch. even a set of pliers in a box with odds and ends of hardware, nails and screws and wood glue. Tucked in the rear corner is what looks like an antique spruce. Talking board. A worn planchette on brass casters sits upturned on top. How convenient. Instead of the Latin alphabet, there are 72 unfamiliar symbols inscribed in the board. Not as convenient. Phony, crude, mass-market spiritualism, but the beliefs of others can be a threat of their own. It's a creepy discovery, regardless of whether it has any power. Yep, I would not handle a Ouija board. Not into it. Nope. Even if I don't fully, hardcore believe in, demons, ghosts, whatever. Even just there being the possibility. Nah. Not worth it. Okay, we can check more. Can we check everything? I would really like that. Just in case, let me override that save actually. Okay, so check the wardrobe. The wardrobe is half empty. There's enough space to put my clothes, but the other half is taken up by an assortment of suits and outerwear with shoes in a row along the bottom. The drawers are the same. Empty on the left, squished full of undergarments on the right. Nothing is modern, but it ranges from a few decades old to several centuries. While I'm sorting through, I find something hard in the pocket of the most recent suit. It's a utility knife. Okay, so I assume we can look at everything before we actually make use of the tools. Nice. Check the desk. The drawers of the desk seem empty, but the compartments look shallower than the exterior. I feel around the edges of the top drawer and find an unsubtle false bottom. Beneath it is a selection of leather journals, along with some loose papers and a stationery set, all in Romanian. It's impossible to read anything but the initial the unsealed letters are signed with. M. M for what? Luckily, it's just jewelry wire holding the teeth together, so it cuts easily. Okay, so we automatically go to the last option. Whatever securing the blade and comb to the jawbone grips has gotten brittle. Those pry apart fine. Once I've wiped the edges clean of glue residue... The loose pieces jitter across the floor in front of me, trembling autonomously over the boards. Like there's a weak magnetism between them. Teeth roll toward jaw pieces shark toward each other. The teeth rattle into their sockets. The sides twist and flip until they flank the front section. There's a hiss like a sword being quenched as they fuse back together. It's a complete lower jaw now. I have a million questions about why there was a disembodied jaw hidden in the bathroom. And almost as many about the belongings left around the bedroom. What happened to the former occupants? It all leads back to one man. I wonder if he's still in the parlor. And there he is. Ah, Master Renfield. I was just about to turn in for the night. Did you receive my note? I'm here to work, so I chose to work. But you made it in the end. Wonderful. Obviously, we're well past tea time, but perhaps some brandy or a cigar? I'm not a smoker, and a drink would help a lot, but the billiard table has caught my eye. The man in the bathroom mentioned liking billiards. I've never played. This could be an opportunity to learn. From a ghost. Sure, why not? How about... There's a noise at the door. Got the smokes. Oh. Personally, I'm keen for a cigar. Come in. The stylish woman from last night enters. Well-heeled and well-dressed as any shopper I'd see along Kudam. All dolled up only, she has nowhere to go. When she scowls at me, I feel like I'm back in secondary school. She presses a cigar box into Dracula's hands, but before she separates from him, she takes one out and lights it for herself. She blows the smoke in my face. We never got a proper introduction. That's your own fault. Master Renfield, this is Cesara, one of my brides. I think it's Cesara, because it's a Romanian name, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. About any of the names, actually. I mean, Dracula himself wouldn't. Oh well, whatever. Cesara. Ches is fine. As a lady of the house, you're owed a certain amount of respect from the help. Am I now? You're my bride. Yeah, your middle bride. If you're not going to be polite, go somewhere else. That's a good general advice. But oh well. Okay. She pushes past toward the door, trailing smoke. As she reaches the frame, she leans an arm on it and turns back to look at me. Hope last night didn't scare you too much. With a toss of her hair and a flick of ash, she leaves the room. Her attitude is an acquired taste. If you say so. A cigar, Master Renfield? No, thank you. What can I offer then? Okay, a game of billiards, or how about some brandy? I assume these are choices towards the characters, really. And however fascinating it is to be able to date Dracula in one of these kinds of games, I'm also very intrigued by the ghost. So I'm going to go with the game of billiards. Excellent idea. What rules? I haven't played enough to know the difference. We'll play 8-ball then. He sets the table. We do our shots to find out who's playing first. Unsurprisingly, he gets it. Why come down after avoiding me all night? I wasn't avoiding you. Like I said, I was working. Work is an excellent way to avoid someone. I hope you had fun working. He breaks. It's a good shot. How's it going then? On track? Got everything you need? Oh, yes, plenty. I take some shots. He takes some shots. He's better than me. I appreciate the refresher on the rules, though. About my room. What about it? Is that your stuff in the drawers? It's our lost and found. Past visitors. I was going to compliment you on the jackets. Oh well. Not half bad, but not my size. Were they all left by the same guest? He glares as he pockets another ball. I smile blithely and manage to pocket two. Be careful around the castle. I'm always careful. Are you now? Pocketing his last ball, he wins the game. Damn it. Thank you for the entertainment. And thank you for the advice. Good night, Prince Dracula. Good night, Master Renfield. I take the cue from him and stand with it for a moment, sizing him up. Then I put both of them in the rack and exit. It was good to get some practice and a better sense of the situation. Why doesn't he want to talk about the past guests in the tower? What happened to them? To him? I don't doubt for a second Dracula's warning is genuine. I have to be careful if I don't want to be disassembled and used for parts myself. Settling under the blankets, I stare up at the canopy. There's a constant draft in the tower. The chiffon curtains drift in and out from the bed, breathe with the air current, weak, unceasing motion. Like pale sheets of snow. There are no curtains in the bathroom. For anyone to see anything, both parties would have to stand in precise locations. One on the neighboring rooftop, one against the window. Which meant the landlord never saw the need to add any. Nevertheless, it's discomforting to look out and know the world can look in. Snow falls over Berlin. Typical February weather. But it's light, and the radio babbles from the hall as I lie in the bath, the signal steady, for the moment. From where I'm lying, I can see the hazy Mitte skyline. Snow comes down, boilers vent up, everyone struggles to stay warm. Surrounded by hot water and bubbles, I breathe slowly and appreciate being home. Tomorrow, I'll be in Romania. Berlin hasn't been totally hospitable to me. Last year's election, any sensible person would be terrified. But there's not a nation in Europe that'd treat me in all facets as I wish to be treated. Nowhere is good, just better or worse. And if they ain't true today as well. Which will Romania be? I sweep the water over my chest, tracing half-healed scars, and turn to forget the world outside. Home is these walls. Central steam heating, green glass ceramic tiles, a porcelain sink, fogged windows, long narrow corridors, tight rooms with parquet floors, electric lamps and a fridge and a stove. The safe haven of a made man. I am a made man. I have made it to safety. Tomorrow I'll leave my building, survive another week, and make it home by the end. Now the view is almost all white. This must be a record snowfall. Unsurprisingly, the signal fades to gentle static, and the radio broadcast stops. I don't like the ambience. The water's cooling. Between the drifts, there's a burst of blue light. A meteor shower? I wish it were a clear night. I would have liked to see. Is it visible from outside? Apologies for the interruption. We'll now be resuming our regular broadcast. Stay right where you are and settle in for a classic, Liszt's Mephisto polka. Outside is a perfect pale void. The radio returns. A piano piece that buzzes along at an annoying frequency. It's meant to be jazz hour. How did we connect? The bath has gone cold. If I get out, I can turn the radio off and take a look at the lights from my balcony. When I try to stand, my legs won't move. The water clings like glue. Despite how long I've been in the tub, the bubbles haven't popped. In fact, weren't they waist high before? How did they reach chest height? I can't lift my arms either. I lie limp in the too heavy water, unable to move as the bubbles rise. I'm not drowning here. They can't find me like this. Imagine the headlines. I don't want to imagine the headlines. Tensing every molecule of myself, I explode upward. Lurch onto the tiles, gasp for air, catch the sink for balance. There's no splash. No wet handprint on the porcelain. No damp sole on the bath mat. A red shape lies amidst the bubbles and the water. Its lower jaw has been torn off, and its eyes are gone. Below the waterline, I catch glimpses of an empty chest and incomplete arms. With its short black hair and narrow waist. That's me, isn't it? And I'm... The radio plays static. I step through to the hall to silence it. Too tall, too dry, too dignified. I am a pearl, and the world is my oyster. There is no hallway. No radio. White noise and darkness. A breeze comes through. The darkness broadens. As my borrowed eyes adjust, the shades separate until I can see the night above and a forest all around. Great wing beats pound through the air overhead. As they pass by, they rain soot and ash. Larger objects fall in its wake. Antique pages with torn edges. I catch one as it slips by my face. A woodcut illustration of someone in silhouette surrounded by people bent in supplication. Beneath the illustration is a title. Cantemir. When I lower the page, the scene has changed. A throne room, Eastern style, with an upholstered couch. Sat on the throne is a translucent figure who leans forward for a closer look at me. We regard each other. Slowly, the figure extends an arm. They roll their wrist and gesture for me to exit. I shy towards the door. If the Sultan wills it, so it shall be. On the other side is a plain stone chamber from an entirely different country, era, reign. Opposite the throne room is a heavy metal door secured with bars, deadbolts, and massive locks. Through a narrow slit in the door, I see sunlight. Something shifts into place behind the slit. One by one, a series of charred fingers stick through. Please. Leave. Now. The occupant drags their face to the bars. Amidst the melted flesh is a pair of sharp green eyes. Nobody wants me here. How do I escape? Where is home? Fleeing along the stone corridor, I make it back outside, into a courtyard. It's snowing. Meteoric lights flash in the sky. Thrown from the atmosphere, to land in the mountains beyond. The gates are open. I run for the hills. This is a very long nightmare. Amidst the peaks is a perfect pale void. Stumbling through the banks and drifts, I keep focused on the dim aura ahead. That blue glow behind the white. The snow deepens. Knees, hips, waist, chest. I am consumed by the cold. A hand reaches for mine. It pulls me from the snow. I'm carried, half conscious, to the edge of a large box. Dropped unceremoniously into a frigid concrete bath. While I sputter and shiver and shake, a grate slides across the top, trapping me inside. My rescuer straddles the box and peers through the grate. Leaving so soon? Dracula straddles the box. No. Good. Abandonment is the cruelest kind of treachery. Reaching out of sight, he takes hold of something. Why not stay forever? A bright silver knife. We have forever, don't we? The smile he wears doesn't reach his eyes. The knife lingers in the space between us. When we move... Get out. The world ends. Wow. That was something. I mean, a nightmare, a mix of memories, which isn't unusual for nightmares, but also maybe memories Of the ghost? In the morning, the relative morning, the wrong 6 o'clock, I'm awoken by the sound of traffic. Staggering to the window, I see a convoy of horses, riders, carts, and carriages clatter into the courtyard at the front of the castle. This tower is angled over a ravine, but peering to the side, some of the pass is visible. There's a smell to investigate too. Another delicious breakfast. Today it's a kind of frittata with tomato relish. Whatever happens on this trip, at least I'll have a good final meal. I sit down to eat and resolve to visit the courtyard after. Several dozen people are here. At the edge of the courtyard, I see some of them opening stable doors and feeding their horses. People are muttering, gossiping, conspiring all around, and in all sorts of languages: Hungarian, Russian, Greek, Turkish, German. The short bride, Theodora, converses with a woman in Romanian. High above, on the battlements, the ragged bride, Ileana, watches like a gargoyle. There's no sign of Dracula or Ches. Excited to meet new, less hostile people, I cross the courtyard to join Theodora's conversation. Good evening. They both fall silent as they turn to face me. Theodora considers her words carefully. Good evening, Master Renfield. Buna, the Englishman? The Englishman. My reputation precedes me. What brings you and yours to the castle? I don't speak Romanian. Chat DL? Nimic. Mitch? No idea. We trade. Many like to trade with a prince, or his princesses. She flashes a longing look at Theodora. She anxiously tries to ignore her. You have some countrymen here. Why not talk to them? From England. Paying closer attention to the medley of languages, I hear a Cornish accent near the flashiest car. Shh, sis, it's okay. He'll be here to help soon. A man comforting someone hidden in the back seat. As I approach, he rapidly evaluates my clothes. See, the Lord sent a concierge. Wow. Huh? Sorry, just a lawyer. A lawyer? Selling Dracula a property? It hurts. Shh, shh, shh. A girl in her late teens jolts straight in the seat. It hurts. She's emaciated and covered in sweat, hair a mess over her face. Not long, not long, not long. A trio of nearby visitors shuffle uncomfortably at the girl's crying. I'm uncomfortable too. I don't want to ask anything inane like, is she okay? Obviously not, but I don't know how to help either. Not acknowledging her seems worst of all. You're here to visit Prince Dracula, miss? She whines, neither affirmative nor negative. Do you think he can save her? Is that his grift then? Faith healing? The Rasputin routine? It's all a rip-off as far as I'm concerned, but if they're this desperate, it seems cruel to say no. Cruel to say so. Okay. There is something truly special about him. He's worth a try. Frankly, I think you've been given the runaround. Oh. Interesting. Oh, and again these symbols. Huh. Interesting. The kinds of choices you can make here. As far as I've read, the Romance roots are all kind of separate. Like they all have their own stories, but of course everything is interwoven with the other characters. Like I did read that some of them will be your friend in one route and then your foe in the other, depending on your choices. And it's not like I want to get on the bad side of Dracula, so I mean, all of these have some truth in them, don't they? Truly special. A good question, really. I mean, sure, there is something special about him. Special can mean anything, though. Huh. That something is how eccentric he is. It's a tactful lie, though. Oh, thank heavens. It hurts. Before her screaming can scare everyone from the courtyard, a new figure arrives. Chess steps from the castle. The crowd falls silent around her as she crosses to the car. She draws a small clear bottle from the pocket of her coat and presses it into the Englishman's hand. For her pain. The Englishman accepts wordlessly. Please. He turns to his sister, uncorks the bottle, and tips the contents into her mouth. Like a child, she panics, almost spits it out, swallows with a sour expression. Within moments, she relaxes. Her eyes flutter closed. She lies across the back seat of the car, breathing slowly. Chaz relaxes too. You're here to meet the prince? Yes. Are you... Come inside. We'll find somewhere for her to rest and you can have a meal. Too kind, too kind. It would be cruel not to offer. The Englishman takes his sister from the car and proceeds inside. Jess doesn't move. She regards Theodora coldly. Theodora is unflinching, though the supplier she's talking to becomes anxious. Then Chaz shoots a look at me. At last she leaves. Okay then. The courtyard remains quiet. Not for long. Theodora and her supplier move alongside me. Have you seen her smile? No. Should I have? 20 years, not a smile. Everyone is afraid of her. Now, Nico, she's just troubled. Trouble? Yes, she is trouble. She troubled you yet, Englishman? I draw a sharp breath. Oh, she's been quite rude, or I don't have any complaints about her. I don't go around bad-mouthing people, like that can only ever get back to you. And we haven't really seen her be that rude, like kind of standoffish and keeping her distance, which is fine, can have a million reasons. So I don't have any complaints. She seems perfectly pleasant. Ah, that Tat got him. What? Nico! Yes, that's what he likes. I don't have to know what Tate are to figure out her meaning. I've never had the slightest bit of interest in... She doesn't need to know that. Okay. Okay. Show some respect. Respect? Appreciation is what a lady needs. Dracula doesn't appreciate them. He's a good husband. No, el nueste. Terok Theodora. Theodora avoids her searching gaze. Master Renfield, you have work to do. Go and do your work. Excuse me? Proceed inside. Return to your tower. Ignore these vagrants and for your own sake, ignore your curiosity tonight too. Her iron will bends for a moment. There's a glimpse of concern behind it. Very well. Yeah, that's what I thought too, that was really just... It sounds a bit rude at first, but get out of here and don't mind everyone else being weird. Sounds like good advice. Godspeed. Keep your head, Englishman. Like Theodora suggested, I go inside. Oh boy. Before I can make it further into the castle, I'm intercepted by the man himself. Quite a crowd today. Not going to greet them yourself? The brides take care of it. They certainly do. Back to work? Yes. Nice to see visitors, but they've got their jobs and I've got mine. Later tonight. We entertain some of the guests in the Great Hall, and it can get rowdy. The tower should be far enough away that it doesn't bother you, but... Ignore the commotion? Of course. You'll be brought your dinner like usual. Have a pleasant evening, Master Renfield. And yourself, Prince Dracula. Okay, so we aren't invited to the party? Well, if we are here for work and not necessarily part of the guests, I suppose. He sweeps off along one of the many unmapped corridors. Do we have a map? Despite what I told him, I'd like to take a look around the house before I return upstairs. I got a lot done yesterday avoiding the family, so there's not much time pressure, and... Avoiding the family meant I saw barely any of the house. There's time for a couple of tasks. Now, where to start? Where to start indeed. Oh boy, there's really a lot to explore here. Didn't expect that, especially for a demo. Okay, look for the biggest, most impressive room. Look for other outdoor areas. Look around the ground floor. Look for where they took the Englishman. I mean, I'm also curious about everything as usual, and sure, would be nice to know what became of his sister, but I don't know, I wouldn't really want to barge into that. Okay. I assume we already are on the ground floor, so while we're here, I guess we can look around there. There are so many rooms around the base of the castle alone. A portrait gallery, the kitchen, a chapel. It's not quite level. Sometimes the ground floor is cut into rock or steps upward. Have I gone up or down from where I started? Uh-oh. Before I know it, I've stumbled into what's clearly a subterranean area. It's dark. This room isn't wired. Medieval sconces flicker on the walls. There's a low, eerie tone as a breeze filters through. Checking around to find out where I found myself, I lay hands on the cool stone edge of a coffin. My eyes adjust to the lack of light. This is a crypt. Oh. There's a faint moan from the opposite side of the wall. It could be the wind coursing through the network of basement chambers. There's a sticky, dry crackle around the edges, though, like the voice of someone on the verge of starvation. Oh, sorry. And there it is again. Moments later, there's a noise halfway between an iron gate shaking on its support and someone scratching a chalkboard. Is someone there? I press myself to the brickwork. Something throws itself against the opposite side. Shaken from my place, I bump into a figure behind me. Pathetic. They yanked me out of the crypt and into the corridor. Ugh. Idiot. You're Iliana? Iliana, yes. A bride. Basement's dangerous. What was it? Bad construction, screams of soggy wood made to bear heavy weight, and rats. Probably. Bad rat problem. Rats to that. Huh. Huh. Yes. Shoo before Rat King get you. That is when many rats form a group body and multiply their rat rage. It does sound bad. Shoo. Okay. Interesting. She chases me from the corridor. The room I find myself in is familiar. It's close to the foyer. I head through to ensure I don't get lost again. I don't know what to make of Iliana yet. Yeah. That... okay. Strange to think of her as a set with Theodora and chairs. Yeah, well, they're individuals. Dracula certainly knows how to pick them. Okay, we do get to explore the other parts as well, I guess. Just always gonna pick the save. Yeah, I mean, it would have been boring if this, if the brides would all be the same. So yeah, it's nice that they're all quite distinctive. Okay, I'm assuming that maybe we can check out everything, but the Englishman last, possibly? Okay, then I'm going for the biggest, most impressive room. I wander around a bit and find all sorts of places. Dining rooms, guest rooms, a drawing room, a dance hall. Then I hit the jackpot. A library. Ooh. Spread over multiple rooms and levels with thousands, tens of thousands of books inside. This is incredible. Naturally, I gravitate toward the law section, which is jammed between spirituality and healthcare. Everything is properly catalogued like a real library. Exciting. Pulling out a book on Romanian common law, I stop to read it. Interesting, interesting. I'd never considered that. Oh, what a good idea. Yes. Hey. I slam the book shut. Jumpy. I thought I was alone. I thought... Oh, you're done with that man and his sister? Have they calmed down? They're resting. Looks as though she could use a rest herself. There's no shine in her eyes, just flat, mad exhaustion. I probably shouldn't ask. She's probably the only one who'll answer truthfully. Does Dracula really heal people? She flinches. Not really. Just a good job faking it. If it's fakery, why does any of the caravan come back? There's other deals he can do. They ask us for favors, he fulfills them. How feudal. Yeah, a feudal lord in the wrong century. Settling into the conversation, she slouches back against the shelves. Oh, he and Theodora like it. What were you gossiping about with her and her stupid girlfriend? Ches has been honest with me. Best to return the courtesy. You, of course. Of course. She folds her arms over her chest. Someone's gotta run people away before they get eaten. But those two think it's fine to be a predatory business as long as it's a family business. I'm getting closer to the truth of this place. Better press the advantage. Predatory how? This castle tears people apart. It's still just a job to you. You think you'll go home in a few days, same as any other assignment, same as ever. Admittedly, it is a creepier assignment than usual. Once he's got you in this castle, though, you're like a fly in a web. And he's the spider. And above him are the birds and the cats and a million higher orders of animal. That's feudalism for you. I try to get people out of the web. When I can't, I try to make being stuck in it painless. Am I in the web? She won't answer. That'll be a yes. How can I possibly follow on from that? I walk back to the legal section and look for the shelf to return my book to. Wait. There are other law books. If you're ever interested. She leads me to the opposite corner, a bookcase with a lockable glass front. Everything inside looks unfathomably old and expensive. Some of them are even bound in unrecognizable materials. Strange leathers and chitines. What is this? An occult section? Surprised? Oh, Occultic law books. Would you be interested? If I get bored, sure. Might be a bit of fun. May I have a key? It's not locked. The door's there to keep the dust out. I reach for the handle. Then think better of it. Thank you for showing me. She folds her arms and looks away. Not borrowing any? The work upstairs is urgent. For now, maybe. You think that'll change? If we're unlucky. And I don't know about you, but I'm always unlucky. Unsure how to respond, I give her a little wave. Good evening, Chaz. Pass her the book. And step from the room. I feel like that was very much a big warning, like she was pushing us towards the book, so maybe there's something in there for us to, find our way out of the web, so to say. Good to keep in mind, maybe. Wandering the halls in the vague direction of the tower. A breeze licks the lights through their bulbs. One by one, some phantom's fingertips pinch them out. Until the last remaining source of light as a pale emanation through the nearest doorway. A familiar doorway. And I know who's on the other side. Oh, hello. Sure enough, when I peer through, I see him. A long-limbed man lounging on the pool table, lips pursed in an impatient smile. The bathroom ghost. He swings his legs over the edge as he turns to face me. Evening. You weren't kidding about billiards. Gesturing at the cues, his smile takes on some warmth. Ready to play? He's the only thing on the felt. Where are the billiards? If I kept you waiting, you could have set the table. I barely know how to do it. Alas, I'm stricken with a tragic touch impairment. Didn't seem like a problem last night. There are brains and nerves inside you for me to stimulate. A table has none of that. However I pose upon it, it will never pay me any mind. To stress the point, he stretches himself out, drawing his trousers tight. I clear my throat and focus on the cues. Yes, thank you for the reminder. You're a hallucination, I'm losing it from stress, and thirst? Poor drifter, lost in the desert, wondering if the oasis is nothing but a mirage. Don't look at him. In the tower, I must have realized someone used to live there and started to imagine who he was, where he went. Now I'm having a conversation with myself to decide how worried I should be that I'll meet a similar fate. Dismembered and stashed in a series of undignified hidey holes. Speaking of which, how did you think to check the mirror, if it was your own idea? The cracks got my attention. Why billiards now? I glance at him by accident. It's a real... He winks at me. Man's game. I avert my eyes. One last question. Am I who you'd dream of if you could dream of anyone? Not if he keeps haggling me like this. Let's just play. Ah, a question he couldn't answer. At last, he hops from the table, full of fresh energy. Alright, preparing the game. Think hard. What do we need? I fetched the rack from the wall to start with. Setting it on the mark, I scoop the balls from the pockets and add them to the triangle in a random order. The ghost laughs, hiding his mouth behind his hand for discretion, even though he's too loud to ignore. What? That's not how it goes. Oh. Put a stripe in one lower corner, a solid in the other, and the 8-ball in the middle. I follow his directions. Now I'm paying attention, checking the numbers and designs. I can't help but notice. The 8-ball and the cue ball are lighter than the rest. Not quite hollow, but definitely not solid, full of something lower density than their resin exterior. Curious. Since you've set the table, I'll have first turn. Isn't that convenient for him? I remove the rack and set it back on the wall. Everything is ready, except the second player. I thumb at the cue holder. Is it cue in English? We say queue. I have no idea. Don't you need something? But you're right there. Be a sport and... If you're a ghost and not a hallucination, you can get your own cue. Levitate it or something. Wow. This is his house. I'm just living in it. Living, huh? Living. Poor choice of words. The point remains, everything here is Dracula's, without his permission or an offer from his representative. I can't touch any of it. Convenient? No, inconvenient, beyond your wildest imagination. Okay, offer him a cue or refuse to... I mean, we're here already, we're ready to play, so... Right? It seems like an odd choice, but of course we want to offer it to him. Yeah? I'm always oversaving, but... They wouldn't put so many save slots if they didn't want me to save often, right? Sure. Offer it to him. I lift a cue from the holder and offer it over the table. The ghost accepts with a bow of his head. According to him, he should be first. I take my own cue from the rack and turn it in my hands as he adjusts the placement of the cue ball. The ghost inhales, out of habit or a sense of showmanship. Crack! He shoots the middle of a wall of the triangle. The balls ricochet everywhere. The game is afoot. We alternate turns, sinking some shots, missing others. He's confident, taking aim at risky targets, almost pocketing some of my stripes. I'm methodical. I don't have the experience not to be. Though it's scary that, 5 turns in, he's on 3 and I'm on 1. Scary is an interesting word here. We didn't bet on anything. How's the sale proceeding? Pardon? I almost misfire. A ghost taking interest in the literal business of the living? It's a shockingly mundane question. The sale papers for Carfax. Why? Just making conversation. He keeps steady. I had a job once. Ordinary duties, ordinary concerns, ordinary physiology. Sure. What were you? Someone's muse? A movie star? A salesman. Who knocked on the wrong door? Didn't I ever? What did you sell? This and that. He puts the cue behind his back and fires a trick shot at the 4-ball. It misses, but nudges the 6 closer to a corner pocket. Talking boards and planchets, maybe? The family's black market black magic dealer. What? The family's black market black magic dealer. Okay. Not what I'd call ordinary. There are stock takes, delivery logistics, and taxes like all retail. The product might be unusual, but selling it isn't. If Miss Popescu has anything to go by, all the castle suppliers are a bit off. He might not be your average peddler, but he fits his working environment. I sink a straight shot. What does Carfax matter? Someone's dead. If I take your word for it. Should I be prioritizing paperwork over not dying? He barely glances at the 6-ball as he taps it the last 3 inches into the pocket. Doing your job and avoiding your death aren't mutually exclusive. You'd hope so. It takes a bit of focus, but I rebound the 11-ball from the wall on one side to the middle pocket on the other. Explain. 4-3. The gap is closing. Dracula isn't planning on killing you. He didn't want to kill me either. If he has a usable piece, he prefers to have it in play, which means that while he believes you're his pawn, I'm safe. Fill out the forms, obey as many rules as possible, be an eager employee and a model house guest. Above all else, his cue dabs the cue ball and sends it on a gentle roll across the width of the table. Do not. It clicks against 14. Mention me to him. 14 shivers on the edge, but it doesn't fall. This is the best opportunity I've had to press him for actual information. Let's see what I've got. I find an angle on the cue ball that'll separate it from the 14 ball. The shot ricochets from the top of the table to the opposite side. No, I didn't dare hope. It clips the edge of 9 and sends it into a middle pocket. 4 to 4. What is there to mention? You haven't so much as introduced yourself. There might be dozens, hundreds of ghosts in a place like this. Unless there's something special about you. Unless there's something special about you I should know. He fumbles his next move. I'm not in a position to score, but I notice somewhere I can move the cue ball that'll make things harder for him. I'm not buying what you're selling, Mr. Ordinary Salesman. He scrambles around the table to try and salvage his turn. Why complicate things? Think of it like cruising. The mystery is a crucial part of the appeal. I can be another nameless man in a bathroom. Safety and anonymity. You think I've ever been able to go cruising? Our pace increases. Anonymity can also help keep the past a secret. Name suppression laws, for instance, to prevent the public prying into criminal history. The turns come hard and fast. So what's your name? I don't know. Call me Vlad. That's not true. You sign your letters with an M. So did you once. That changed. Oh, you know that, do you? What's your real name? What have you been using? Ghost. Ghost is fine. I am one of a kind. Why? He slams a ball from the top left into the bottom right. Ooh, demanding. I launch a ball off the surface and into the air, for the briefest moment until it lands in a pocket. Answer the question. We are both at 7 points. He hits the cue ball to the middle of the table. The 8 ball is in line with the pocket, except reaching it will be a stretch. The ghost leans on the edge where I need to stand. An evil smile on his perfect face. Make me. Okay. So, press him or gesture for him to move. Can never get over these symbols, eh? I don't want to overanalyze and just go with the answer though. I guess I'm going to press him. Fine. We can play it like that. I shove his shoulders and topple him backwards onto the felt. Though his earlier interactions set the expectation he'd be solid, I didn't realize he'd move and feel like a regular body. A corpse-cold body. For a moment after we land, I want to panic and apologize. Then I realize his smile has widened, and his eyes are eagerly shining. Well, are you going to take the shot? I raise a knee onto the edge of the table, resting it between his. My left arm reaches forward past his head. Extending my other leg off the ground, I balance my weight between my hand and his hips. I line the cue over his chest with my right elbow stuck in the air. Now I just have to concentrate. Refuse to be distracted by the surface I'm playing on. He's got a smarmy look on his face. This is what he wanted. Bastard. I take the shot. It sinks. I win. The ghost smile cracks into a tuneful laugh. Felicitari, Glückwunsch, congratulations. Dropping the cue onto the table, I prop myself on both hands and prepare to move. He sweeps his hands underneath me and up to clutch the sides of my face. It's like an Arctic crab has latched onto me. Chilly, spindly fingers devoid of warmth and flesh. Whatever gentleness he had yesterday has been forgotten. He doesn't press hard, but it's not a pleasant sensation. It's important to be selfish here. If there's a choice between saving your own skin and somebody else's, pick yours. We'd all do the same. Then why am I helping you? His fingers slip free. He puts his hands to my chest and shoves me like I did him. I stumble back off the table onto my feet. He sits straight up, using only his core strength. Easy for someone who doesn't have to work out. Landing on his toes, he prowls around the floor. Because I'm your only hope. Fear flickers across his face at the prospect. Since I won, this is my moment. I level my cue at him like a judgmental pointer finger. Who are you? Why doesn't Dracula want us talking? What kind of help is on offer here? Draping a hand over his features, he sighs. I tried to take something of his. He took everything from me in return. Without my missing pieces, I can never rest. But if a certain handsome someone could reassemble them, he'd gain a powerful ally. Not just an ordinary salesman. An extraordinarily talented salesman. Modest, too. Perish the thought. Do we have a deal, then? Body parts in exchange for phenomenal ontological power? If Dracula is planning to kill me, it doesn't hurt to have a counter-strategy. Sure, what else am I going to do around here? Work myself to death? I retract the cue and offer a hand for him to shake. He raises a finger to his lips. Actions speak louder than words. Your prize is over here. Using his cue, he indicates the pocket the cue ball and 8-ball went into. Yeah, they didn't mention that they're a bit more lightweight for nothing. As for our next date, how about eine kleine Nachtmusik? Figuratively, anyway. I'm not a big Mozart fan. Find us a piano and a decent tune to play. Let's try a duet. You speak German, yeah? I mean, I do. Ja? There's a particular piece I like. Auf einen Totenacker hat mich mein Weg gebracht. Oh, I don't know the melody. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it's talking about death. His voice resonates as though this mess of old carpets and leisure furniture is a proper concert hall. You can figure it out. I most certainly cannot. I'll try. With that, our night is over. Clear the table, store the cues, flee the scene. Lingering too long in Dracula's personal lounge would be terribly foolish. Isn't the whole castle his? I'm my own man, so are you. That's not an answer. Arrivedere. Every light fixture in the room ignites like a star. A blinding, searing, all-consuming flare. When it dims, he's gone. I circle around the table to the pocket he indicated. Nothing inside but the mysterious cue ball and 8-ball. Each now has a fine crack on its exterior, like a boiled egg. I dig my nails in, try to open them further, but the resin is too thick to pry apart. Below the surface, though, there's a different substance. A pale, lightweight, mushy substance. Just what are they made of? Curious. Also interesting that we have an inventory, even though I don't think we can directly access it. But yeah, like collecting items seems different from the usual visual novel. It's kind of fun. I do some legal work for a while to make sure I don't fall behind. Midway through the evening, my dinner is delivered by that supplier, Miss Nico Popescu, moussaka with additional vegetables on the side. It's perfect, moist yet firm. Later, the plate is exchanged for chamomile tea and a shockingly dry square of millefeuille. I pick at them as I go, carefully keeping the vessels across the tabletop from the contracts. The real challenge is making sure I don't drink the inkwell instead of the tea. At midnight, I find my hands have moved from the food and the paperwork to the billiards balls. I test their weight again and contemplate what they might be made of. Considering they're round, and we've dreamed of eyes missing. The crack still hasn't widened. I could drop them on the staircase. There are, what, 50 or more steps? Anything that falls down the whole flight should break. It doesn't sound like Dracula's party is anywhere near this part of the castle. I'm not likely to get caught. Can you not throw them against the stone walls? Wouldn't that save the same purpose? Oh, why not? Let's try the staircase. Oh dear, a spiraling staircase. Do you want to run after them? That doesn't sound fun. Like, going back up, I mean. But okay, that's your choice, not mine. With both balls on the top stair, I peer into the darkness below. Despite assurances, the moonlight doesn't illuminate the steps at all well. Taking a deep breath to calm myself, I push them over the edge. They roll easily and loudly down the steps in view, and rebound from the wall around the corner. I can hear them descending the spiral. At a casual walkway pace, I follow after them. They lie in the corridor below. The cracks have turned into splits. Resin shells hatched to reveal what's inside. A pupil stares at me from inside the cue ball. That would mean it's a pair of eyes. To protect them from any damage, I close the shells back around them before putting them in my pockets. It's actually interesting they would be preserved. Like a jaw and teeth makes sense, they don't deteriorate if they're kept like outside the earth and stuff, but eyeballs? Oh well. We did see a ghost, so yeah. Out of sight, but not out of mind. It makes my skin crawl to think of what's been done to him. Over and over asking, why? How does this benefit anyone? What kind of anger drives someone to do this? I linger in the hall longer than I should, lost in thought. Just as I turn to head upstairs. What was that? It sounded like the Englishman's sister. Dracula's performing his faith healer ritual then. I'm not gonna scream, sorry, I don't want to peek the mic, but imagine a scream. If he is, it isn't working. There's also the possibility her medication wore off. Whichever it is, I can't ignore someone in this sort of distress. It's too awful to think about. Too awful to reminisce about. A building full of people, and no one coming to help because they take your pain as a given. I've got to help. Regardless of any half-remembered directive from Dracula. Or any half-remembered warning from Theodora. I begin to run. The intervals between the screams grow shorter, but the screams grow weaker. It's hard to tell where to turn. I'd intended to use the volume as a guide, but that's not possible. Where is she? Where? Not the guest room. Not the parlor. Not any of the dozens of other doors I pass. Is there some kind of infirmary I missed? But if there were, why wouldn't they have put her in it earlier? Think, Renfield, think. More screaming. I don't have to think. I can hear. Terribly close. Through the open doors to the great hall. Despite Dracula's claim he'd host a party there are just 4 people in the room. The 5th is already dead. He stands in the middle of the cluster, the girl's body slumped in his arms. The brides flank him, clutching a shoulder or a thigh each. Theodora remains concentrated on her meal. Chairs adjust the shoulder to hide behind it. Eliana spits as she makes eye contact. All of them are biting the girl. Dracula her jugular, Theodora enchairs her wrists, Eliana has torn through to the thick veins in her leg. They see me and stare, but none of them can wrest themselves from their prey. Even Dracula, proud and regal, lets his composure loose out to his thirst. I'm locked in place too. from fear. There's too much wrong in this building to be wholly surprised, but knowing there's a wolf in the woods doesn't prepare you to face it. Rather than let this awful moment continue, I open my stupid mouth to ask the stupidest question I've ever thought of. Is she okay? Like a dog caught with a chicken from the coop, Dracula blinks slowly, his pupils focusing and his jaws unclamping from her neck. His goatee is dyed solid red with her blood. There's a moment of wordless trembling before his mouth is able to form words. Renfield. No. She's dead. Then I find a way to make it worse. Why? Because the house has needs, and the master must provide. Releasing his grip on her torso, he drops her into the bride's arms, where they are able to bite and gnaw even more ferociously. Compared to them, his animalism is restrained. They have focus and shame and spite, but nothing else. No instinct to stop before the well runs dry. He realizes he won't have my attention while the body and the brides are in view. Rather than step around them, he dissipates into pitch-black smoke and surges through the group, coalescing in front of me. For a moment, after he reforms his eyes have that awful hollow look again, and his features are contorted. He extends a hand to me. Not to worry. Your fate will be different. Yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this taste of Drăculești. Thank you for playing. It'll help us out if you wishlist the game on Steam and perhaps you're interested in our newsletter. Okay, I'll have a look later. But what a scene to end on. Oh, wow. Wow, indeed. Oh, I really enjoyed that. As I said, I already liked the art that I saw before on the shop page, and I mean, this really delivers. Not just CGs, all the backgrounds and the way they, just in that last scene, how they put the individual pictures together. So nice. But the writing is also really, it really sucks you in. Like, I didn't expect this to be quite as long as I played today. I thought it'd be like an hour. But I guess that also depends on your choices and your reading speed. But oh man, this is really intriguing. I definitely want to check out like other options and the full game. But yeah, that's it for the demo from my side. Yeah, let me know what you think. Who are you interested in? So, as I said, there are 4 love interests: Dracula, the ghost, Chaz, and then one we haven't met in the demo yet. Another guy, Johnny, I think. So tons of options already, all with apparently their own story and their own path to escape from the castle, I suppose, or to survive at the very least. Very, very interesting, very intriguing. It's pretty cool. So yeah, if you wanted to try the demo out for yourself, I have the link in the description for both itch and Steam. And yeah, let me know what you think, who you would want to date out of these options of what we've seen so far. And yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.